Welcome to part 1 of my Unity 3D micro tutorials. These tutorials are made with the goal of being short, sweet, and to the point. So with that, I'll get right into it. Today, we'll be downloading Unity and setting up our first project. There are a few different ways to go about this. You'll want to go to unity3d.com/get-unity/download, which I'll provide the link of in the description. Before installing anything, I would recommend on this page, go ahead and make a Unity account real quick by clicking the little person icon in the top right corner. This will let you access the asset store, and if you use unity.learn, which is a very useful resource for tutorials, it'll keep track of your tutorial progress, and it's just generally a good thing to have. It does show that you have two options to download Unity here at the top of the page, but both of them will lead you to installing Unity Hub, so just select the one on the right to save some time. So go ahead and download the installer and open it to install. Once you finish installing, open the Unity Hub and click on the Installs button on the left. Here you can easily just click Add and download any available versions of Unity to make a project in. You'll definitely want to select the newest version of Unity unless you're following a tutorial using an older version. After selecting your version of Unity, it'll automatically have Microsoft Visual Studio selected to install. This is a great IDE for coding. An IDE is an integrated developer environment. It is a program essentially that you use to manage and edit your code. Microsoft Visual Studio has many great resources, especially for beginners, so I would highly recommend it. That being said, I personally use Notepad++, which is a very simple and very modular IDE, but if you're new to coding, Visual Studio is definitely the way to go. Below that, it'll ask what kind of platforms you want this build to be supported by, which is pretty self-explanatory. For the purpose of any tutorial or practice project, you should just leave it at its default, whatever checkboxes it already has checked. But if you were actually making a product for a specific platform, you'll see the options for basically everything under here. You'll just have to check whatever platform applies to you, whether it be iOS or Android or whatever other options there are. It's a good thing to note that if you try to change the version of Unity that you're using after creating the project and doing some work on it, it could easily break your project. So I would always recommend choosing the newest version of Unity and sticking to that version throughout any individual project, and only changing versions when you are creating a new project. So now that you have your Unity version selected and installing, let them finish installing, and then we can continue. If, for instance, the version of Unity you're looking for isn't on this list, you can just Google Unity Download Archive and select the version you want, and it should automatically become available within the Unity Hub after you download it. That being said, the only reason you should need an older version of Unity is if you wanted to follow along specifically with an old tutorial, or if you wanted to download a project that was created in an older version. Now, back in the Unity Hub, if you select projects on the top left, you will have two options, add or new. So if you downloaded a project from online or from a friend, or if you downloaded Unity Hub after already having a single version of Unity on your computer, you may need to select Add and find the root folder of your project and select that in the File Explorer. You'll know it's the root folder because when you open it, you will see typical Unity project folders such as assets, libraries, logs, packages, etc. And that root folder will be the one containing all of those folders. Otherwise, you'll just be making a new project. To the right of new, there should be a little drop down arrow if you have multiple versions of Unity installed, which just allows you to choose the version of Unity that you're going to be creating this project in. So again, the newest version is typically best. Once you have your version selected, hit new and you'll get this screen. Right now for me, there's 6 options on here that may be useful to you at one point in the future, but especially if you're watching this video, the only one that you'll really need to care about is Unity 3D. So go ahead and just select that and name your project, choose the file location, and select create to get started. Your project will build for a bit, so give it a little time before it can open. If you have never used Unity before, you probably now have this big confusing editor in your face that doesn't make a lot of sense. Don't really worry about it, it'll all make sense a lot quicker than you think. Unity was created with simplicity in mind, and it's definitely one of the easiest ways to make games to date, and it is light years easier than it was to make a game 10 years ago, for instance. If for whatever reason you use a IDE other than Visual Studio, you're going to want to go ahead and select Edit and go all the way down to Preferences. And once you have that opened up, go ahead and go down to External Tools, and at the top there it says External Script Editor. So there you should automatically have your option in the drop down. For me it's Notepad++, but if for whatever reason you do not have the option there, you're going to have to go ahead and select Browse. And for me, the easiest way to find it would be to go to my desktop shortcut of it, right-click it, open file location, and then copy that file location into the in Unity browse. And from there, all you do is go ahead and select the executable and hit OK, and it should be automatically working. In the next tutorial, we'll go over editor basics and familiarize ourselves with Unity in general to make it all a bit less daunting and much more understandable. Thanks for watching. If you have any thoughts, please leave them in the comments below, and I'll see y'all next time.